All right, have you ever made a watch list video and felt like it was almost a complete waste of time? That's how I feel right now because tomorrow's Christmas Eve. Market closes at 1. I don't expect much volume and I don't expect a lot of movement on any of these charts I'm getting ready to show you, but it doesn't hurt to have a watch list. What I'm really looking to do tomorrow morning is log in and see if there's anything getting volume in the pre-market and hope to get a gap play or two in the first 30 minutes to an hour, and then I'm going to be done for the day. So on a normal day, these charts would really have my interest, but I don't really expect much tomorrow from them. But anyway, here you go. GDP, really oversold here like all the oil plays, and then a nice bounce and really flagging here right in this area. So if I switch to 60-minute candles, it's not that hard to see. Up over this range, this one might pop. So now if oil does pop tomorrow, again, I don't expect much movement in the market or oil or any of these, but if oil does pop in the morning, this is a good candidate for maybe a nice quick percentage gain. All right, the rest of them, ACHN. This is, just maybe overdone to the downside here. Let me throw pre-market on here because if you haven't seen this, you won't believe it. Okay, I've just added pre-market, so then when I switch to 15-minute candles, most of you probably have seen this, but if not, in pre-market yesterday, I'm making this video on, what is this, Tuesday. So pre-market on Monday, this thing ran to over $26, and then by the open had pretty much completely reversed that. So crazy action there. And then today sells off some more. Here it is on 60-minute candle. So, I mean, it's now down below support, but a lot of things that make crazy moves tend to overshoot the other way. And I'm kind of expecting a possibility of a bounce tomorrow. All right, so again, like I said before, don't give a lot of weight to any of these because tomorrow's a half day. But that's some crazy action. Certainly could give a nice bounce one of these days. VNDA. VNDA popped up today. Big volume for that stock, but ended up closing near its lows. I still want to watch this for a bounce tomorrow. I mean, it's still above the last, probably 3 months worth of trading after the gap up. So a lot of times you get the gap up and it sells all day. Let me get pre-market off of there now. Okay, so a lot of times you get a gap up and it grinds lower throughout the day. And then the next day you get a nice move. So I want to watch this. A lot of people would look at this and say, well, I think it's down again tomorrow to fill the gap. And that's very possible too. But I just kind of watch it with that one idea in mind. And so if it doesn't set up for that one idea, I just simply don't trade it. That line there was, I think, the pre-market high, 1450. It did get a break of that and nice volume this morning. And I made a little money on that trade, but you can see what it did. It chopped around for the next couple hours and then grinded lower. But to me, it is worth watching tomorrow. JRJC, kind of the same thing. Popped up today. You see the big volume, but sold off. Had actually a nice little midday pop here from the 610 to almost 640. And that's a nice little percentage move for a day trader. Ended up closing at its lows, though. But since we had the gap up, again, I'm having the same thesis. I'm going to watch this and see if it gives me a long setup. And if not, I probably just won't mess with it. It's kind of a weird-looking daily chart, to be honest with you, and looks fairly weak. ISIS, back down here, you can see the 20 days acting kind of like a rising trend line. Had a really nice push here, came back down, bounced off the 20-day, and back down there again. And really, it's come pretty far. Couple sessions ago, it was 67.12, so it actually went down to 55.65, but it's basically down $10 now from a couple sessions ago and at the 20-day. So I'm thinking bounce tomorrow, but again, holiday, so keep that in mind. I doubt I'll play any of these, but I made a watch list anyway. Again, gappers will be my main focus in the morning. CAR, I don't have on long or short watch. I'm just watching it, okay? To me, it feels overdone to the upside, but this one could, gap down a little bit or something and go into a narrow range and then break to the upside again. Definitely bulls are in charge here. And this thing just kept grinding higher all day. So I want to watch it again. It has a sister stock, Hertz, that looks like it's got room for more upside there. So anyway, those are worth watching, but only if they give me a proper setup. And I'm literally thinking long or short on those, so they're just in my watch column, but I don't know which to expect yet. It depends on how it trades. And as I've said in every video this week, I always want to have DGLY on watch just in case they get some major order from a big police department, some big city, or something along those lines, DGLY pops very nicely at times, and it definitely is worth watching. I'll kind of pan out a little bit more here, and you can see there was a spike there, but you can see some of these big moves it makes, right? And then it sold off, and then boom, all of a sudden again. Matter of fact, the night before this move, somebody asked me where I thought the bottom was in this, and my answer was, it was the night I did that Q&A session in the chat after hours for anybody that wanted to come ask questions. And my answer was, well, I'd be scared to short it down here because there could be news about the government mandating cameras on every police officer, and literally the next day you can see what happened. They came out, somebody introduced a bill mandating that every cop has a body camera, and this thing went crazy. We made a bunch of money on that, and it's had a couple nice subsequent pops with resistance at 17, and then right here is a lower high. So, but it's been bleeding on no volume. So there's no way I look at this chart and say, so if it gets like right here, we want to go long. Nothing like that. It's not getting enough volume. The only reason I want to have this on a chart is based on its previous action and possible stories coming out, okay? That's it. So keep DGLY on watch because it is such a nice mover when news does come out. And that's it. Don't give a lot of weight to anything I've just said because tomorrow's a holiday. Market closes at 1. Trading, any kind of decent trading will be done an hour after the session, in my opinion. So that first hour, I am going to log in tomorrow, and I'm going to see if I can find some gap plays for the chat members and myself. But after that first hour, I will be done. If you're not trading at all tomorrow, or if you are just watching this video and not going to be in chat, or you're not a member or whatever, everyone have a very Merry Christmas, and we'll be back at it full time. On Friday. I also expect a dead day on Friday, but then the following week we'll just be back at it full time. Looking forward to a great 2015. The chat room has been excellent. Great teamwork in there. I think it's going to be a fantastic year coming up. All right, I'll quit babbling. We'll talk to you tomorrow.